Hello, and welcome to another episode of Tamara Unfiltered. Now, full transparency, this is probably going to be a little bit of a trauma dump, whinge, whine, moan, I don't know. It's first world problems, let me be honest, but I'm just not okay. Didn't want to come to work today, but being as there is literally nobody else I can send to stand in for me, I'm flipping here. Anyway, I think this is a good thing that I'm here because do you know what? I promised myself when I started this podcast that, oh god, I'm having such a weird deja vu moment. That means I'm definitely in the right place. I think I've had this. I got a podcast where I've had this before. I'm having it again. Do you know what? I just know I'm supposed to be doing this, and I don't know. I don't want to be, but I think that's life sometimes, isn't it? We've got to do the hard things. We've got to do the things we don't want to do, and that is just life. So I'm here under duress, but nonetheless. Anyway, I wanted to talk a little bit about peri-menopause again because I mean it's no secret that I have not had the greatest of mental health throughout my life. I wouldn't say I've suffered the whole time. I've done quite well at managing it, I'd say, but I haven't always had the greatest mental health. And I'll definitely say the last couple of days have been a very bad mental health moment. I Back to the peri-menopause. I have been reading that now let me just say, God, I am not suicidal. However, the way I have been feeling lately, the good thing about having bad mental health my whole life is I know when it's getting bad, and I can tell the signs, and it's almost like all these years of me developing this inner voice has actually been so valuable because now when things are getting really bad, there's that little voice in my head going, flipping hell, Tamara, you need to sort it out. Like, this is not okay. Do something about this. So I've been getting a lot of that lately. And I have been reading that the suicide rates in perimenopause in women, are significantly higher than any other time in our life. Now, this is just, well, it's alarming, isn't it, to say the least? And I just wanted to read you some stuff because, again, nobody tells us this stuff. We're not at school and they're like, oh, by the way, guys, you're going to go through life and, really struggle to find yourself. And then you'll find yourself and you'll be sailing and everything will be okay. And you think you've won at life and then bam, you will just be hit with the perimenopause and then everything will not be okay. Your life will not be fantastic and everything will just kind of be on the floor. No one fucking tells us this. Anyway, I'm just going to read this. This is a study that is on PubMed Central. It's like the National Library of Medicine, and it's actually literally titled Perimenopausal Depression, an Under-Recognized Entity. Now it says there is a high rate of suicide in women aged 45 to 54 years. This may be related to the biological changes associated with the menopause. Perimenopausal depression may present with symptoms that differ from those of typical depression. Management can include psychotherapy and other non-drug interventions. If drug treatment is indicated, it may be hormone replacement therapy and antidepressant or both. I'm just going to read you this little introduction. It says mental health disorders can have devastating impacts on women as they approach menopause. This phase of a woman's life, typically between 42 and 52 years of age, is known as the perimenopause, and mental illness is very prevalent in women in this stage. The risk of serious depression is significantly increased in perimenopausal women. The adverse impact also affects her family and society. Sorry, guys, if you're watching this on YouTube, by the way, sorry, I'm ADHD. I didn't want to film this today. I've got sunglasses on. I look a bit, I don't know, Sunday crackhead-ish, but sorry if you're wondering why I look like this, but I'm just reading this and I'm like, just fucking hell, it's just, anyway. It says research specifically targeting the mental health of perimenopausal women is lacking. There is a gap in the recognition and provision of appropriate treatments for middle-aged women experiencing depression related to the hormonal changes of the menopause. Goes on to say that Australian statistical data shows that the highest age specific suicide rate for females in 2015 was in the 45 to 49 age group with 82 deaths, which is basically 10.4 per 100,000. The second highest rate of suicide was in women between 50 and 54 years. These suicide should alert us to think about contributing factors, including biological changes in the gonadal hormones associated with the transition to menopause, as well as social and psychological stresses in the midlife period. In the 2007 National Survey of Mental Health and Wellbeing, the Australian Bureau of Statistics identified that 43% of women aged 18 to 65 had a mental health problem at some point in their lives. In the preceding year, twice as many women compared to men suffered from mood disorders, and 4 times more women experienced anxiety disorders. Among those with a mental illness in the preceding year, women had higher rates of suicidal thoughts and plans compared to men. This shows that women clearly carry a high burden of mental illness and suicidality. I didn't even know that was a word. Now, I'm not going to go on, but like I said, I have been struggling the last couple of weeks. I wouldn't even say it's the last couple of weeks. And I'll be honest with you, I meant to do a little bit more research because we have just gone into... what is that? Oh God, how do you put your laptop on aeroplane mode? Sorry about that. We have just gone into a Venus retrograde, which happens every 18 months. And we've also just gone... We're basically in the shadow period of our next Mercury retrograde, which is going to be fun. Now, actually, I say that I'm not too worried about Mercury retrogrades anymore. I always feel like they're just an opportunity to do the shit you probably should have done that you haven't done. And I feel like every time they come around, I'm just open to the lessons and hope that they will be gentle and open and willing to learn and just do the work, I guess. So whatever will come. I think I'm already having some lovely lessons, and a lot of stuff has been coming up. It's weird because most of you know I smoke a hell of a lot of weed, and most of the time I don't have a problem with it. It's just a part of my life. I think I realised a long time ago I have just been self-medicating for a very long time, and actually as much as sometimes I get like really pissed off and I'm like, I should be doing something else, or I shouldn't have to do this. The fact of the matter is I do, and it is what it is. And every time I have considered stopping smoking, it's just had diabolical consequences. And I've never really, up until now, had the opportunity to actually do anything about it and be able to stop smoking. Anyway, a couple of weeks ago, I really got it into my head that I wanted to stop smoking. I was like, this is it, I'm going to do it. I'm going to take the last of my savings and I'm going to basically rehab myself in the form of because the problem is, half the issue is I never have the opportunity to do this because I'm always tied to the kids, which is fine. They're my children. That's my life right now. But it's a lot of things I'd like to do but not possible. So I just thought, well, I need to do this. It's time to stop smoking. I'm going to take us all to Egypt. Just book us into like an all-inclusive for a month. And I know that sounds wild, but I just want you to know, for an all-inclusive for a month in Egypt, including flights, is looking about £4,500, which is a lot of money, but not a lot of money when you consider the cost of rehab and you consider the cost of going on holiday anywhere else. And the thing is, there's only a small gap to be able to do this. It's like a weird part of the season in Egypt where it's hot, but it's not so hot that everybody's there, and it's still their winter and it's out of season, and that's why it's super duper cheap. Anyway, so I'd had this idea that I was going to go and do this, and I'd got all worked up about it, and I don't know, I just felt like it is flipping time. I must mention this because what kind of sparked all of this was a couple of months ago, I was talking to my little weed guy, and he just told me something that was really alarming. He had said the guy he gets his stuff from, he sends it into the local place where everybody stays at Her Majesty's service, and they just lob it over the wall. Anyway, some of it's got picked up, and they obviously test it. Do you know what showed up in the test of this weed? Meth. Meth was in the weed. And I just was like, oh my God, I just had a moment, and I thought, is this why you're so flipping like, oh my God, I need to smoke a spliff, I need to smoke a spliff, I need to smoke a spliff, because you're a flipping secret meth head? it just really flipping scared me. And I just thought, I don't know, from that, it just kind of, a lot of stuff was going on in my head. And I really kind of felt like I was getting to a point where it is time to stop this. I don't know, I just really come to a point where I've just had enough. Well, I had enough. Let me continue with this story. Anyway, so that was what was going on in my head. I was flip-flopping as to whether or not I should be going away. And I find it hard to make decisions at the best of times, but I really just couldn't make this decision. It's like, it comes with so much as well. It's not like I can actually, because now I've got 2 kids in school. God, these fucking schools just hate us, honestly. But I can now, I can no longer do that thing where I just go away whenever I want, which is why I can go away most of the time, because I just do it super duper cheap, because we don't have to go in the school holidays. And if I do go away, or if I was going to go away, it would have meant taking both, just basically withdrawing them from school. Now, I'm so fed up with the schools that in my head I was like, do you know what, I'll just do it and deal with the repercussions when I get back. And I think, if I'm honest with you, this has been the lead up to why I've been having such a bad week, because it's this whole thing where it's like, I can't seem to make any decent decision for myself because it just involves so many other people. And I'm getting so frustrated that it is only me that this falls to. None of this falls to their dads. They can make whatever decisions they like. And it's just, I don't know, I've just, the last couple of weeks, especially this last week, I have just been enraged. And I'll be honest with you, I'm sat here filming this podcast when really I wanted to pack a bag and just go to Gatwick and just go somewhere by myself. Like, I always say, like nervous breakdowns are for rich people. And whilst I'm not quite there yet, I'm financially stable enough that I could just run away by myself for a couple of weeks. And I felt like I wanted to do it mainly to teach my baby fathers a lesson. But I've done this before about, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago. Everything got way too much. Like, I try not to complain about my life, because I know in the grand scheme of things, like, I have such a good fucking life. Oh my God, I'm so fucking blessed. But like, the weight of everything constantly always falling on me, I don't know, sometimes it just becomes too fucking much. And a couple of years ago, I don't know when it was, I think it was like 2021. I don't know when it was. I'll have to check my photos, but I just had enough. And the kids went to their dad, because the problem is, I can never just phone their dads and be like, oh, I need some help. They just do the exact amount of set time that they're supposed to do. No more, no less. Well, actually, they are both doing less now, and that, I think, is where the stress is coming in. But they don't pick up the slack. It all falls on me. The frustration fucking builds. And at this point in particular, I just had enough, and that was it. The kids had gone for the weekend, and I just packed a fucking bag and went to Spain. Now, a lot of lessons were learned here, because I thought going away would solve all my problems. You know, you think, like, I remember, because this was still when I was coming off the side of being really poor and not having gone away much, so I still think, you know, like, a holiday will solve everything. No, it fucking did not. I literally was just sat on the beach crying, sat around the pool crying. I was just in such a fucking state. I just had enough of everything. But, you know, as per usual, running away from your problems doesn't actually do anything to solve them. But I just felt like I needed a break. And actually, do you know what? Positive things did come from that, because those two really pulled up their socks, because I think it scared the pair of them. Because, you know, as it is, I just take care of everything, and they know full well I'm never going to let their children go without anything. I literally will be selling my organs before I allow that to happen, and they both know that, and I think they take advantage of that. And so they just literally leave everything to me. But I think when I fucked off and they couldn't bring them back to me because I wasn't in the fucking country and there was nothing they could do, I think they were both shocked, and I kind of both held them to ransom. I just said, look, I'm not coming back until you agree to do the every weekends and to do 1 week in the holidays, like the big holidays, you know, like the 6 weeks and the 2 weeks. And they both agreed, and they did, and they have kept that up for, I don't know, 4 or so years. But now it's all just dropped off again, and I've got this one that the baby father in particular, the one that's not talking to me and just refuses to acknowledge my message and everything, he's actually driving me insane. And do you know what? I just keep lowering myself to these fucking disgusting levels, but it's like I've got nowhere else to go. You know, the other day, I mean, I don't even really feel like I'm ashamed of this, because I told no lies. But he just, again, it was just another weekend of him ignoring me. He was supposed to have the kids and then he didn't, and it just fucks up so much stuff. And struggling to keep it all together here, and he can just drop in and out when he fancies and still contributes nothing financially. I just lost my fucking marbles, and I text him, because the thing is, he's a narcissist, nothing bothers him. He doesn't, the more angry I get, the more he likes it, and the only thing he cares about is his mum. So I text him and I said, your mum's a fat, useless cunt. I said, because my children could never. I said, do you think my boys could ever behave like this? They could never treat the mother of their children like this. Ever. I mean, actually, no. let me take that back, because first of all, let me not tempt fate. They could do that, but they could not do that with my support. The way that woman supports that boy and the fuckeries that he does, she is a fat, useless cunt. And so I said it with my chest, but I knew it was the wrong thing to do. It's like the low, it's just the low of the low of the low. But I'm on the floor. I've got nowhere else to go. Anyway, so I texted him that. Obviously, he just continued to ignore me. And I just felt like, do you know what? The only way I'm going to get his fucking attention is if I go again. Is if I fuck off. Is if I, actually inconvenience his life. And I guess it's my form of protest. Because he's not listening to my requests. And what do you do when you're constantly ignored? You've got no choice but to flip and cause a fuss. So I don't know, but like I said, I mean, it's Sunday morning, it's 10:42 a.m. and I'm sat here doing my podcast because, like I said, I'd promised myself I was going to remain consistent with this, and actually, in all the things that are going on in my head, and no matter how much I just don't want to be here in the world again. I'm not suicidal like that, but I just don't want to. I don't want the kids to come back. And do you know what the mad thing is? I'm just back to that place again of I don't want to reach burnout, but I feel it coming, because this weekend, as all of my weekends off now, I'm right, they're just dedicated to work. I film my podcasts. I don't do editing, let me not lie. But all the uploading and everything just takes a few hours, and that's what I kind of dedicate my weekends to doing. But yesterday, that's what I was supposed to do, and I just couldn't do it. Instead, I just laid in bed and cried, because I was just I can't be fucking bothered. And then I was like, do you know what? Give yourself some grace. You don't get a day off. I mean, it's nice that I get to work from home and I work for myself and I can pick and choose my hours, but it's the fact that everything is just relentless. If there is ever a moment to sit down, believe me, there is something to fill that fucking moment. So when the kids go, I just, I always say, one of my favourite things to do is nothing, active nothingness. I love it. Just doing nothing, just laying there, nothing. I love doing nothing. And so yesterday I did just fling myself into nothing, and as sad as I was, I just thought, you can't run away. Running away from all of this shit is probably not going to change anything. Yeah, it would probably teach them a lesson, but in reality, it's just going to probably hurt me and the kids more than anything. I'm not going to go away and feel happy. It's not like I can relax into a holiday. Them two are going to be on my phone cussing me and making me feel like I'm a terrible woman for just not even doing anything wrong. That I'm fed up of as well. God, the weight we carry as women. I don't know why everything falls to us. The school, my kids go to school now. All they do is phone me. And I just say to them, have you tried calling her dad? Oh, no. Fucking hell, why not, dickhead? You lot get me so angry. I don't know if any of those teachers have secretly found me online. I do wonder that sometimes and listen to this podcast. But you all, I respect what you're doing, but you all piss me off. Stop fucking calling me. Call their dad. Because believe me, he's the one who supported this school thing. I don't support it. I think school's full. I feel the whole thing is shit. And one day I will do a podcast on that. I'm not sounding very intelligent. This is scary shit, but the whole thing is just from top to bottom a joke. And the weight that falls on us women is also a fucking joke. Anyway, so sorry, I did say this podcast was going to be a whinge and a whine, and yeah, here it is. But anyway, so that was my last week. And like I said, back to this whole stopping smoking thing, oh God, a few funny things happened. One day, the day I'd run out of weed, but it was quite late and I was waiting for Rocco to come back so I could go out and pick up, and then I just thought, Tamara, you're not a crackhead. Just take your magnesium and go to bed and go and sort the weed out tomorrow. So I did. When I tell you I did not sleep that night. It's I slept, but I wasn't asleep. I was awake asleep. And the weird dreams and my mind, it was just, I woke up so exhausted. But I woke up remembering why I smoked weed in the first place. This all started because when I was I think I was 14, I've never slept. Like, as a child, I never slept. I think I've mentioned this before. I was just, I don't know, maybe I slept 3-4 hours a night, but I would be put into bed at like 7-8 p.m. painfully, and I would still be up at like, I'd see 2:22. That's like my first remembering like numbers like that. I would see like 2:22 a.m. So I'd just be awake, never fucking slept. Anyway, the first day I smoked weed, I went home and slept, and it was the best fucking day of my life. And that was the day I fell in love with cannabis. Like, until this day, I will, sometimes, I fall out of it and whatever, and I think I don't want it in my life. But my fucking God, like that night, waking up that morning, just feeling so awful, I just suddenly remembered why I smoked weed in the first place. And I thought, well, I can't fucking stop that, can I? That was a stupid endeavour. So that whole idea of going away and everything just kind of simmered down, and I don't know. And do you know what's funny? Somebody got me this book. I'm looking at it now, it's over there. It's called, I wish I'd bought it actually over this side, but it's called The Book of Answers. And it's kind of like, it's like tarot, but in book form. So you hold the book, you get really aligned with it, and you ask it questions. And this thing freaked me the fuck out, because basically, I'm trying to find what it said, because it was so flipping weird, the answers, right? And when I tell you, the book is this thick, so there are, I don't know, thousands of possible answers. And you basically hold it, ask it a question, open the page, it's got the answer on it. So these are the questions I asked it when I was like umming and ahhing whether or not I should be trying to stop smoking weed. So I said, should I go to Egypt for a month? And I wrote this down because this really freaked me out. I said to it, should I go to Egypt for a month? Open the book, and it said, you must. All right, I was like, whoa, all right, okay. Then I said to it, because I thought, really, I only mentioned the Egypt thing, like I hadn't mentioned the smoking thing. And then I said to it, is this about me stopping smoking weed forever? Then I opened the book, and it said, ask your mother. And I thought, well, that's weird. Anyway, so then I carried on. I said, will Egypt be about a detox? And it said, it will be a pleasure. Right. Now, bear in mind, these answers are so, if you open the book now to any page, like it just wouldn't make sense. But these, you can hear that they make sense, right? Should I go to Egypt for a month? You must. Is this about me stopping smoke weed forever? Ask your mother. Fucking weird. Is this about a detox? It will be a pleasure. Then I said to this, are these weed vapes? Now, let me just backtrack a minute. In amongst all of this, somebody had sent me some weed vapes. Now, you all know I'm very against vaping. However, I am not against free weed. All right. I'd take free weed in any shape or form. So I got these flipping vapes, and the person who sent them to me had basically said that she had been using them as a way to stop smoking so much weed. So I was like, right, okay, so now bear this in mind. So I now said to the book, are these weed vapes the answer to my question? Do you know what the fucking answer was? Ask your mother. Now, bear in mind, the other weed-related question was, again, ask your mother. And the book is this big. However, I opened it on that page again. So I just got a little bit freaked out at that situation, but equally was bamboozled. So I then just said to it, this is the last question, I said, what does ask your mother mean? And then I opened the book, and do you know what it said? There is a substantial link to another situation. And to be honest, I didn't think of it because I'm not going to, oh God, let me just gather my thoughts for a second. Things are not very good with me and my mum. In fact, to say that would probably be a large understatement. However, as a mother of 5, I would be really upset if in like 30 years time, my kids did a podcast and took a giant great shit on me. I mean, if I deserved it, I could understand it, but I don't know. So I'm not going to sit here and take a shit on my mum, but things are very bad with us. We do not speak. I actually blocked her just after Christmas, and I have no intention of speaking with her ever again in my mind. Well, not at least until she gets some flipping help and acknowledges her issues. Now, bear in mind, when I've asked the book 2 questions related to cannabis, and both times it said ask your mother, when I relayed this to my friend who's very spiritual and whatever, and she was just like, this is about your mum. She was like, this is about, support. The amount I lean on cannabis for support is probably the amount I should be able to lean on my parents. Now, we all know I'm fatherless, so that's never going to happen. And my mum my mum's just never really been that type of mum. I've kind of always parented my mum in a kind of a way. I don't know. She's had a lot of trauma. She's been through a hell of a lot of stuff. But I've reached the point with her where I've had a lot of trauma. I've been through a lot of stuff. And I'm not a fucking cunt every single day of my life. I'm just not. I don't think it's an excuse. I know so many people who have had terrible, terrible things happen to them and they're just not arseholes. I don't think it's okay. Do the fucking work. You know, I mean, we'll have bad days. And if you know me, you will know I'm like the best person in the world to have as a friend. But then the flip side to me is fucking terrible. But, you know, anyway. Point to all of this is, I feel like my cannabis smoking is more relative to the support I am currently lacking in my life and not likely to get. And it's not about everything else that I think is the problem. I mean, the meth thing was a bit of a problem, although I'm making a conscious effort to get better weed. But yeah, I just, again, realised, you know, I'm not gonna, and it's funny as well because this book bamboozled me so much that I ended up contacting Richard. Do you guys remember Richard? In fact, he's gonna come and do a podcast with me around sort of like maybe next month, give us a forecast for the year, like the astrological new year. But I ended up contacting him just to ask him, like, you know, should I it's also as well, what's crazy was I didn't know if I was flip-flopping about going away because all the planes keep crashing. I know that sounds wild, but I'm the sort of person, like, crazy shit happens to me all the time, so I would not think I would be on a plane that might crash. And I'm not scared of flying or anything, but I kept seeing so many plane crashes. I was like, God, should I even be flying? So I kind of had it in the back of my mind that I wanted to talk to him anyway. But when that book gave me those answers, I was, or more confusion, I sought Richard out. Anyway, so he basically said to me, there's this stuff in my chart that is making me feel like I want to stop smoking. And he said, honestly, you're probably not going to. He said, not the weed anyway. He said, I'll probably kick the cigarettes, which is good to know. But he was like, you know, the weed. Like, he wasn't being horrible, but he was just like, it's just, I can't even remember what he said because I find all this planet stuff very confusing. But when he broke it down to me, I was like, right, okay, it's just literally the planet's making me feel like this, and it's probably not going to last, and it'll be a big fucking waste of money and time. Do you know what? Actually, he also said about this Venus retrograde and the Mercury retrograde, and how at the time, now at the time of filming this, we're actually in the shadow period of Mercury retrograde, but this was like a week ago, and he had actually said that it's already feeling very Mercury retrograde-y, and a lot of other stuff has been going on, and I was like, God, I can actually really feel it. And I saw a weird video the other day from a guy saying, like, if you're really can't even remember the word he used, but he was just like, not advanced, that's the wrong word, but you know, if you're like a bit more, I don't even know what the fucking word is, and I hate the word spiritual, but that a bit more in tune or whatever, he said you tend to go through things before everybody else. So like, if you're having a Mercury retrograde in 2 weeks, you're probably going to go through it like the month before or whatever. Anyway, so Richard just said a lot of stuff and basically said, don't flipping bother trying to stop smoking. He also said, because you know Richard's so lovely, he likes to beat around the bush, and I just said to him, just fucking give it to me straight. And he just said, honestly, if this was my chart, I wouldn't be travelling now. And you know what he said? He said after May the 4th, and I was like, May the 4th? I love that fucking date. It's like March 4th, like May the 4th be with you. I loved it. Anyway, so he said basically after that date, I'm probably going to be travelling a hell of a lot, but it's not for now. And like I said, with everything that's been going on in my head, I've just taken it as a sign that I need to just stay here and, I don't know, continue to woman the fuck up, find the strength somehow, I don't know, find a new supplement, find a different strain of weed. I don't even know. That's the thing as well. Like, I'm not entirely sure what the answer to this is, but I do know, as with everything, you just have to keep pushing forward. And do you know what I will say? I feel so terrible at the moment that I just know something great must be about to happen. This is how life is. Like, your lowest lows will lead you to your highest highs. And I don't even like that. I honestly just try to live like an even keel life, because I don't actually like the highs and lows. Like, I've done some cool shit has happened to me, man. And then like the lows of it are so fucking low, and even the highs are so fucking exhausting. It sounds so crazy. Like I remember first day I made like a lot of fucking money. I was so fucking tired. It sounds silly. I was just exhausted. Like I don't know. And so I just like an even kill. And honestly, more money, more problems. Like, I like an even kill life. And at the moment, I'm not having that. Everything is very just blah, very dark. And I just know that means something very light is about to happen. So I can't. And again, this is the good thing about, I don't know, doing all this shit I've been doing over the last few years, developing this positive, toxic positive mindset, as Rocco calls it. Like, it does serve a purpose, because like I said, I'm not gonna sit in this and flipping, well, I am sitting in it and wallowing. I think another lesson here is just being, you can't avoid some things. Like, at the moment, life just feels shit. It's not actually shit. If I zoom out, life is good. They've stopped chemtrailing, fuck knows what's going on there, but the sun's been out all week. I have got a beautiful house. I have got beautiful, wonderful, amazing children. I've got like the greatest friends anybody could ever ask for. And I always say that as well, like, you've got a fucking apple in your fridge and a roof over your head. You don't really have any problems. Like, you think you do, and it feels like you do, but really, if you zoom out, you just don't. I like to look at the stars sometimes, you know. I just look at the stars. That helps me just minimise a lot of my problems, because I just look at them and I go, fucking hell, in the grand scheme of things, does it even matter? Does it even matter? I just think sometimes it feels like it matters a lot, and I'm just in a place right now where I'm feeling a lot, and I am just blaming it on peri-menopause, because like I said, I just feel very bad mental healthy at the moment, and I can only attribute it to that, because I have been, I don't know, I've been doing the work for so long, and actually was in such a, not, I wouldn't say the greatest place, but just, you know, the mental health was managed to the point where now it's not. Like, I don't know, it could only really be that, I guess. And now, like I said, you know, doing this research, I actually had another little article I wanted to read you guys about this, because it's just flipping. I mean, it's, well, interesting, not interesting, I don't know, but there was an article I found in The Independent, and it was just titled "Fear of Being Labelled Hysterical. 1 in 10 women experience suicidal thoughts due to peri-menopause." It says around 1 in 10 women experience suicidal thoughts because of the peri-menopause, according to a new study. Research exclusively shared with The Independent found that 9 in 10 women going through the peri-menopause experience mental health problems. 9 in 10 women. What do I think? I'm the only fucking special one? No, that's just, no. Perimenopause refers to the period leading up to the menopause, with hormones often fluctuating during this time and women starting the perimenopause at different ages. The study, carried out by a free women's health app called Health and Her, discovered that 3/4 of women said they had never experienced mental health issues before going through the perimenopause. Now, can you imagine having mental health before and then you hit the perimenopause? It might feel like a fucking brick to the face, which is kind of, I don't know. And the thing is, I'm so up and down, but I mean, again, I don't know if I could attribute it. Maybe I think like the thing with the hormones is like why I'm not coping so well, because in actuality, nothing's really changed. The weight of life is still the weight of life. Like, I still have the same amount of children. There's still the same amount of bills. It is just, is what it is. But maybe it is the fact that, you know, my hormones being in such fucking a low place, making me unable to cope with a lot of things. Because that's the thing as well, a lot of the time I'm there crying and I'm just like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, you're technically a fucking, I like literally identify as a gangster. Like, I do. I'm like a, as much as I hate a lot of what he fucking says, I'm like a female Andrew Tate. I'm like, pull your fucking socks up and get on with it. What the fuck is crying going to do about your situation? Do you know how many other people have got problems and you want to sit there and fucking cry about what? I am that person to myself, and I would be like that to other people, because if you think fucking crying and sitting down and wallowing in your problems is going to change them, it's not. And that's why I clash with Rocco, because he loves to sit down and cry about his problems. And I'm like, what's this going to help, bro? What the fuck is this going to help? Where's your solution? Where's your ability to think about how you're going to get through this? That's the type of person I am. I don't really allow myself to be sad for that long, which is why I'm finding all of this so difficult to deal with as well, because I'm just like, come on, you little bitch. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? But yeah, the battle is hard, and getting a hold of it is hard. And like I said, I'm not going to say supplements are the answer to everything, but actually I think living in the current toxic world we're living in, they are an answer to a lot of things. And maybe I just need to find a new supplement, because I think with this wild yam cream is really helping, but I can't really measure its dosage. I'm literally just getting a fingerful twice a day and just slapping it on my face. I was doing it once a day and I realised twice a day helped me a lot more. So, but again, you can't measure it. So I'm on the lookout. If you've been taking anything that I haven't recommended you already and that you know of, please leave me a comment. Let me know, because I am just open to all sorts at the moment. And do you know what? I wasn't going to end this on a low, because we don't do that. Fucking negative shit. Don't do that. But I'm giving myself some grace for a start, because I think that's one thing I've probably never done, but not too much grace, because then you do become a little bitch. Like if I sit there going, oh, well, you should be sad because your life is kind of hard. Guess what? It's going to get fucking harder. I'm going to give myself like a little bit of grace, because, you know, it is not the easiest what I'm doing. Raising one child, let alone 5, it's not an easy feat, is it? And I'm going to give myself credit for that, but at the same time I'm going to keep telling myself that I most definitely fucking can cope with all of this, and I will, because mindset is everything. And that is what I was just going to lead into in terms of what am I doing, how am I managing this. First of all, it's mindset. You've really got to start to be a very loud voice in your head, especially when your head is being very stupid. My head says stupid things to me on a regular basis, but like I said, luckily I've developed that louder voice. It's like, shut up, you dickhead, and just kind of gets a hold of that. And so I'm gonna work on my mindset. This is a bit wild, but I know some of you are going to judge me for this, but I don't ever complain about my children's fathers not giving me any money, because I've never really tried to chase them for it. I don't know if like knowing about the law of attraction is sometimes a bit of a curse versus a blessing, but knowing the energy that it puts out there when you're begging somebody to help you, I have never wanted to do that. And a lot of people say to me, go to the CSA, excuse me. And I don't want to do that, because I just feel like the energy tied to that is, and I'm going to sound like a woo-woo dickhead, but I just feel like the energy tied to that is just not one I want to be putting out there. Oh, please, I need help. I need a fucking debt collector, a bloody strong arm from the government to collect money from men who willingly, happily had children with me. Now, that's fucking disrespectful to my whole fucking self. Like, to be honest with you, it's like I don't want to do it, but so many people keep saying, oh, you need to contact the CSA. So on my list of things I might possibly do is contact them. But the thing is, I don't actually think they're going to be able to give me any money that would make any difference. One of them lies about not working and said they'd give me £2 a week. And the other one, I don't think he's on the book. They would both just lie, and that's the sad thing. And then I think that would frustrate me even more. Like, one of them actually does. It's a funny story. I CSA'd one of them. They decided he should be giving me £600 a month. When it came time to pay it, I put him on the collect and pay thing. He actually phoned me crying. And I'm not even going to call myself, I don't know, like sometimes I'm just too nice for my own fucking good. And I shouldn't have let his fucking crocodile tears sway me. But I genuinely felt bad for him. And again, I don't know why I feel bad. And the thing is with this peri-menopause, or maybe it's just getting older, like, I don't even feel so bad anymore. I was having this discussion the other day, like, someone was defending we were talking, and someone was defending someone's baby father for basically being financially useless. And I just said, no, you're not going to fucking do that. Because if we have both got the same 24 hours in a day, and in my opinion, you lot have way less responsibility than me, and I make more money than you, you're a fucking idiot as far as I'm concerned. There is no fucking excuse, especially living in this day and age. Like, I know all the cost of living crisis and all of this, but you see where we've got AI, and we have so many resources. Like, there is kind of I'm not saying everybody should be rich, but certainly nobody should be destitute, and certainly nobody should be happy to let the mother of their children single-handedly fucking financially deal with the responsibility that comes with raising children. It's just not fucking okay. But like I said, I don't know. Going down the CSA route is just horrible. Anyway, but back to that story. He phoned me fucking crying, and at the time I felt really bad for him, and I took him off the collect and pay and told them he was just going to pay me direct. And you know, this was years ago. He paid me once, literally fucking once, and that was it. And then the last couple of years, he had agreed to give me £300 a month. Didn't. Again, he was starting to give me £200, and then I can't even remember what happened, but a couple of months ago, I think it was the issue. I think I've told this story about when he fucked me over with the school uniform. I don't think it helps me financially to be constantly in a fight over money. So I have just let it go. And like I said with the CSA thing, I have never gone back to them and said, oh, he hasn't paid me. I mean, in my head, I could fuck him over if I want to. If I could go back and he'd owed me fucking grands if I told them about all the missed payments and I've got all the proof. But again, it's just effort. If you think I've actually got the fucking time to go and do all of that with that poor energy, I just don't want to. And I probably sound stupid, I don't know, but maybe it's something to do with me. It's a block or whatever, I don't know. But on my list is to consider doing that anyway. And then I have written, I'm in capital letters, I'm considering exercise, because in all my research, all I can find is that exercise in this time can be really beneficial, which is hilarious because it's the only thing I really feel like I'm allergic to and I can't do. But we're in a Mercury retrograde or incoming, and that is always an opportunity to do the things you should have done before. So maybe, just maybe, I will finally fucking do that. I don't know. Anyway, point of the matter is, I'm not just going to sit here and wallow, and I'm not, fortunately, I don't know, not going to run away, and I'm just going to sit here in this feeling uncomfortable shit for a while, I guess. But it is what it is. I think that's something I really need to master. I'm such a good time girl. Like I don't really have time for bad times. Like when like me and Stacey's my best friend in the world. Like honestly, we've been through some shit together, especially her. But we've rarely sat there and cried. I think we've cried like once together. And that was on mushrooms, and then that turned into laughter. Like we are not them fucking people. I am not that person. I do not like to sit in sadness. It's just, I don't know. But we live in a balanced universe, and I cannot expect this great life all the time. That's just not balanced, is it? So I guess. And like I said, that's how I know something great's about to happen, because I could never be feeling this fucking shit with very soon the incoming being something very fucking great. Anyway, I'm going to wrap up this delightful, inspiring, happy little podcast. And I'm just going to say thank you again. Again, another podcast. Like, I don't know if you can just see the change in my posture, but I feel a bit lighter. I feel a little bit better. God, maybe I shouldn't even put this out. I hope you all don't now feel heavy. Let's just shake this off together. Just shake this off. Take a deep breath in and just say, I call all of my power back to me. Like, let fucking people on the internet penetrate my aura with their bad vibes, okay? We're stronger than that. Anyway, you guys stay amazing. I will be back next week. I promise you, for something more positive. And when I say next week, it's in 5 minutes. I'm going to go and put some eye drops in and see if I can sort these eyes out. Change my jumper maybe. But yeah, I'm definitely feeling better now. So I'll get on with my next podcast. But I just love you guys. Thank you so much for being amazing and your support and just everything. I love you all immensely. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day. Mwah.